Peace, world. I'm back with a live episode of Final Sam, your host, the enlightened one, highly gifted Dr. Wright. So tonight, I'm gonna just go in about the greatness of the Most High, the greatness of Allah, the greatness of God, the greatness of Jah, the greatness of Yahweh, the greatness of Elohim. And I'm gonna let some people come in and check in. At the end of the day, I'm thankful I'm doing these lives. I'm in a good place. I did a live earlier with a good brother, Malik Dome. Again, Malik Dome. If you guys never heard of him, check out his page. Go subscribe. He's a good dude. He's a good brother. He has some great content going on his platform. You know what I mean? I was over there on his platform earlier. I stayed on his live panel for about an hour. We build on some great topics and we had some great discussions. So if you're not familiar with him, Malik Dome, subscribe, go check him out. But tonight, I'm gonna go in about the greatness of God or the Most High or the Elohim or Yahshua or Yahweh. Again, I just see it as like we just behind. A lot of times when I speak to people, and people come in my chat, or I speak to people as they see on these YouTube streets, a lot of people tell me how negative it is on YouTube. You got a lot of ill people, a lot of negative people, a lot of selfish people, a lot of spiteful people. And I understand and I get it. And I don't have a problem with any of those people. I have a problem with what any of those people do. However, on my platform, I bring different energy. I bring a different vibe. I bring a different essence. I'm an old soul and, I have a good spirit. And, I try to keep my vibes high so I don't let things like that get me down. And, it happens in life. It's not only on YouTube, it happens with jobs, it happens with careers, it happens in the corporate world, it happens in the business world, it happens in the entertainment world, it happens in sports. So any realm of life, you're gonna get negative people or mean spirited people or people that doubt your drive or doubt your commitment, for when you're striving to do better, when you're striving for excellence. And it can be, sometimes people that you didn't believe that would do it. However, like I always say, the more and more research I do, the more and more study I do, people aren't allowed to do certain things without your consent. People, if you're hurt or if somebody, is being negative, sometime, we allow that to happen. We allow people to, penetrate our circle or penetrate what we're doing. And definitely when we're on the internet because we're looking for more subscribers or we're looking for a bigger following or we're looking to build our community and all that's the right thing to do. However, everything is not for everybody and everything isn't warranted. So sometimes, when you do get new subscribers or you do get more people to help you with your community, be thankful for them. But also, be aware that it's things that come with that. So for me, what I try to do is I just try to be authentic a lot of the times and be genuine a lot of the times. And if people are going to be negative or people are going to be spiteful or people are going to show hatred or animosity or whatever they're going to do, I'm going to let my spirit and my energy reflect through that. So no matter what now, they're just going to be exposed for what they're doing and how they're doing it at the end of the day. And like I always say, I take people for who they are, not what they are. So if their spirit is not right, if their vibes aren't right, I'm taking them based off that. I'm not going to take them based off what they do and what they are. I'm not because just because somebody is a pastor, that don't mean that their spirit is right. Just because somebody is an NBA player or a singer or a musician or whatever they do, that doesn't mean that that's who they are. So that's why I take people for who they are, not what they are. At the end of the day, and I'm learning the more and more that I grow with YouTube, and the more and more that I grow with these videos and these live streams. That since I'm aware that I don't let that like distract me from moving forward. I got to move forward regardless. And at the end of the day, some people build their life off coming to the internet or going to a job or go into someone's career position to put them down, or to hurt their feelings, or to hurt their pride, or to distract them from doing what they got to do. So I don't just look at it like it's an internet thing or a YouTube thing. I look at that overall in life, because when you're striving for excellence in any facet of life, you're gonna have people looking to distract you and to knock you off your pedestal at the end of the day. So I look to do my best to not allow that to happen. And I'm not saying that it can't happen. Like, it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. However, when it happens, I'm going to pray for the person. I'm going to pray with the person. I'm going to tell them God love them and God bless them. And if that's not good enough for them to not be negative, or for them to not speak negative, or for them to not troll me, I have no problem with that. But I'm not here to say, get off my page and curse people out, because I'm not here to display that energy. If that's the energy they want to display, for every action, there's a reaction. So they may be able to come to my platform and do it, and I may not say nothing. However, they may go to another platform, and they may get blocked, or they may get, if they have a channel, they may get their page stricken, etc., etc. So I don't look at it like other people in regards to how people respond to certain negativity that comes people way when they on the internet. And for me, like I said, I'm just here to bring good energy and positive vibes. So on my quest to, becoming a better man, and being, a descendant and a prophet, and listen to what God, tells me to say, in the direction that God lead me in, I'm unable to worry about that at the end of the day. And again, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But I'm not gonna be upset with whoever comes at me or my channel or my platform like that. Like, at the end of the day, because I know that I don't come to my platform with an attitude. I don't go to other people's platforms with attitudes. I don't go to other people's platforms cursing people out. I don't go to other people's platforms, telling people how to run their channels or what they should do. Nah, I don't do that. So I'm not anticipating it happen. And if it do happen, again, I'm gonna pray for the person or with the person, but I'm not gonna let that, distract me, where I'm gonna get out of the character. As long as I stay in character, in meaning, not in character like this is a game, or this is a movie, or this is a basketball game or a sport. No, in character, just staying who I am, the man that I'm becoming every day. When I wake up, I'm comfortable with who I am, and I'm comfortable with where I'm going, and I'm comfortable with who I'm becoming. So I'm becoming a better man every day, a better person every day, a better father every day, a better husband, or a better, significant other to the person that's in my life, etc., etc. Like, I'm becoming a better person with the way I take care of myself spiritually, psychologically, physically. So I'm not worried about if somebody else think differently about who I'm becoming or the man that I am. Like that's on them. If they want to judge me, they just got to be prepared when they get judged. Don't feel a way about it. Accept it, because if you're out here being negative towards people, when it come back, be ready to embrace it. If you're out here judging people, be ready to embrace it when it comes back. I mean, that's just how I look at life, and that's the energy that I bring in any facet of life. It's not just on the internet. And like I said, I wasn't always who I am, and I wasn't always how I am. And since I learned that that's what life is about, evolving and growth and maturation. Like, the only way you're gonna become a better version of yourself is you have to go through adversity and diverse situation. That's the only way. But if you just think that every day you're just gonna live your life and you won't go through adversity, how you gonna prosper? Like, for you to prosper, you have to go through some sort of diverse or adverse situations. And again, God has to test our fortitude so we can become stronger and better versions of ourselves. And I'm thankful that the Most High does that, and test my character, my fortitude, so I can become a better person at the end of the day. So, like, with me doing these live streams, I don't like. I never was worried. I just started doing live streams because my platform got bigger, and I need to do live streams, and I need to be consistent with them so people be aware that I do them. However, I see people with a lot more subscribers, and when they go live, they don't have as many people in their chat, or that many people chiming in and checking in. How come? Because even if somebody may hit the notification bell, YouTube sometimes, they do sweeps on the internet where, even if you subscribe to somebody's channel, you may have hit the notification. They do think they clean out like unnecessary accounts, accounts that people haven't been using or don't use or made up accounts. It's not even like with a fake avatar or fake picture. It's just like the person may have lost that phone and lost access to their account, and they haven't used that account for 6 months, 8 months, a year. So YouTube do sweeps and they'll remove some of those accounts, or they'll take notifications and certain things off for certain accounts because people haven't used those accounts in a long time. So there's very different reasons why sometimes people might not get a notification, or people might not check it, or people might not tap in. And like I always say, outside of all of that, people are actually living their lives. Everybody is not on the internet every day. Everybody's not on the internet all day. So for those who are able to catch any of my pre-recorded videos or my live stream videos, I appreciate that. Whether they catch it live or the playback, however, whenever, I'm thankful for that. But whenever they get to view it, I'm thankful. It's meant for them to view it or catch it when they catch it. So whether it's this live or a previous live or previously recorded video, whenever they catch it, that's how it's meant to be. But I'm not here on the internet like doing this just for people to say, Final Say be going live. Let me make sure I look out for them. Let me make sure. Nah, I mean they're gonna catch it when they can. They're gonna support me how they can when they can. Any support is better than no support. So however a person support me, whether it's one person or 100,000 people, I'm thankful. But again, people are living their life. People don't live on the internet. And again, I'm I'm not aware of how everybody may catch my videos. Some people may catch it on their phones. Some people may watch it on their tablet, their laptop, their TV. I'm unaware of that. So at the end of the day, I'm mindful of that when I go live or when I upload videos, people may not have their phone near them. Some people don't keep their phone right next to them. Or some people don't not always on their laptop or always on their tablet, etc., etc. Some people don't always, access the internet through their TV. So whatever way people able to view me or to check what I do, I'm thankful for that. But I'm gonna sit here and speculate or assume anything about it just because, I could have 100,000 subscribers. That don't mean that when I go live, I'm gonna have 50 people. I may have 10 people, and I got 100,000 subs. Or it could be the other way around. I got 100,000 subs. I have 10,000 people when I go live, but when I upload a video, it may get 500 views, and I got 100,000 subscribers. So it's various different ways that people want to show, content creators love when it comes to the internet. It's not just based off one way. People have various different ways. Some people, may come to your live stream and say, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna sit back, listen and learn and watch. And I appreciate that. You don't always have to, because I'm live, somebody don't always gotta say how you doing or check in. I get it and I respect that. And it's the same amount of love and appreciation for them being there, whether they say something or not. So I'm not like, oh, well, they was in my live. They didn't even say, nah, it's not important. Whatever floats they boat and whatever way they want to support my movement, God bless them and I appreciate them. But I'm not here to tell somebody how to support me. It's their device, it's their account that they have to log in with to show me any love. So I'm thankful for that. But they don't have to prioritize me. I'm not gonna feel no way about that. And just because somebody may like what I do, they may not like my lives. Or just because somebody may like my lives, they might not like my uploaded videos. Or somebody may only want to chime in on my community board. There's various different ways to support somebody. It's not the way that you expect them or I expect them to support you. Like, at the end of the day, when I say you, that means other content creators and people in the internet world at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And I don't have Facebook or Instagram, so it's not like I'm on Instagram and then I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna transfer this over to YouTube, or I'm on Facebook and I'm gonna transfer this over to YouTube, or I'm on Snapchat. Nah, I'm only on YouTube because again, I don't want to give people a boatload of things to have to keep up with me, and also I see a subscription is not the same as Instagram or Facebook, like a following thing. You know what I mean? I was big on that before the internet. I have children. I don't want my own children to follow me. I I appreciate the fact that they will listen and take my advice as their father, but I don't want them to follow every single thing I tell them to do because everything I may tell them to do not may be directly for them, even though they're my kids. Peace, bro. What's going on, man? Thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Word up, man. Thanks for allowing me to be on your platform. If you get some time, if you go back on this, I shouted out your handle and I gave everybody your info. I told them to subscribe when I first started this live stream, man. I got you, my brother. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. But like I was saying before my brother Malik checked in, at the end of the day, people gonna support you the way they could support you. And again, some people may support your live and may not support your pre-recorded videos. Some people may support your pre-recorded videos and not support your live. Some people may just want to say something on your community board. Like it's various different ways to be supported. Some people may just want to share your videos. So it's various different ways to be supported. You know what I mean? On a live stream. Now, no problem, my brother. I'm gonna do what I can, how I can, the best way that God allowed me to. So yeah, at the end of the day, man, that's just how it goes. So people have various different ways to support people and support things. So at the end of the day, I'm not here to tell somebody how to support me, my movement, or what I do on my platform. I'm just thankful people here to support me, my movement on my platform. In any way they're gonna do it, I'm thankful for that. Like that's it. At the end of the day. But I'm not here to say, well, I've been subscribed to you for 8 months. You don't pull up to my live. Well, I've been subscribed to you. You never left a comment. I mean, maybe some people are just comfortable with subscribing and not saying nothing. Or maybe some people don't want to subscribe and say something. Maybe some people, want to do both. Or some people don't want to do anything. Some people don't want to subscribe or say anything. They just want to view it when your video pop up. Or they may just let it play because some people devices, if a video pop up, whether that's a live or just a video, some people devices, you could just let something play without clicking on it. And some people may, listen to the first 30 seconds and be like, you know what, I'm good. Some people just like, right. Some people just like to be in the chat. Exactly. So it's various different ways that people do what they do. I'm just a firm believer in I want people to be comfortable with doing what's best for them, despite even if it's my platform or my channel, etc., etc. I'm not. It doesn't matter to me how you support me. Whatever's comfortable for you, you do that. You know what I mean? But I'm not here to say, you definitely gotta hit the like button or you definitely got. I suggest that, but I'm not on nobody back. No, you better subscribe. Nah, because at the end of the day, people got their own platforms, first and foremost. Second of all, people got lives, and everybody don't want to just come to somebody's platform and listen to somebody all day or watch somebody video if it's an hour or half an hour or 20 minutes or 15 minutes. So if somebody want to give me 5 minutes, 50 seconds, an hour, 2 hours, I'm grateful for that. But nobody, from my perspective, have to do anything. So anything that's done is a bonus. Is a blessing, and I look at it like that, and I'm thankful for that. So that's why when I come to other people's platform, I thank them for allowing me to come to their platform. I get them their flowers right then and there, and I tell them to keep doing what they're doing and stay motivated and keep their head up. And I never tell nobody how they should operate on their platform. Whatever people comfortable with talking about, that's done. I just know on my platform, I talk to people and not about people. I don't curse. I don't drop N-bombs, nothing like that. And I'm not against other people who do that. I let people do what they do. It's their platform. I want them to be as comfortable as possible doing what they do. But I'm not here to throw a monkey wrench in nobody's program. I'm here to support, you know what I mean? And I'm here to help and I'm here to share on any level that I can. And I'm understanding when you share or when you like that it gets out there to more people. So that's why I do it. And that's why I'm willing to do it because it gets it out there to various different people. And at the end of the day, the reason why I don't talk about people and I don't curse or I don't drop N-bombs because I don't know who's watching my video. Thanks, my brother. I appreciate that. I don't know who's watching my videos. I don't know who's listening. So at the end of the day, since I don't know that, I can't really do that. And then somebody may hear it and see it and be like, you know what? Damn, I want him to come on my panel or I wanted to share his video or I wanted to get him more subscribers, but he always cursing or he always dropping N-bombs or he always talking negative or he always screaming or he always yelling or he always this or he always that. So I get it. And you always could do things that could ruffle somebody's feathers the wrong way at the end of the day. Man, like I said, I know I'm not perfect. I know the world is not perfect. However, I'm working on perfecting things in my life. I'm working on perfecting how I deal with people, how I talk to people, my tolerance, my patience, my growth, my maturity, my maturation. I could work on those things. And as long as God give me the strength every day, I'm going to do that as best as I can. And along my route and along my path, I'm gonna be faced with obstacles and hurdles, and I'm gonna attack them the best way that I know how. I'm gonna take my time, be patient, and jump over the hurdles. I'm not gonna move to the side and look to avoid them. I'm gonna attack them the best way I know how. And I have to jump over the hurdles and the obstacles when they come. I got to be ready for them. And I'm thankful that God will give me obstacles and hurdles to have to deal with, because again, that's going to build up better integrity, more morals, more value, more pride, things like that I need. And I don't mean pride like somebody's unable to tell me something. I mean pride because I'm going to have dignity and honor in what I say and what I do and the things that matter and the factual content that I'm going to bring to my platform or anybody else's platform that allow me to come on their platform. And I'm thankful, you know, that I'm able to go to people platforms, people embrace me, people allow me to be in a chat, people value what I tell them, and that's why I do as much homework and I do as much research as I do, because I need for people to go back and research and do homework on the things that I say. Very important, very crucial. So now with that homework, with that research, they could come back and they could add on to what I already brought to the table. And that's what I need. More homework, more research. So now we can get together and we can add on to what we both learning and what we both know. And we got more information for somebody else that might not have as much information as myself and the other person. So that's why it's important. I tell everybody, do your own homework, do your own research. Hey, what's going on, sis? I appreciate you. Thanks for chiming in and checking in. Subscribe to my boy Malik Dome. He does his thing. He's a real productive, positive brother. He's a real laid back brother. He has a lot of wisdom on his platform and on his channel. And I'm happy you checked this. As you see, I gave you a wrench. Did you notice that? I was waiting for you to come back in, so I can congratulate you and give you that wrench and show you, that I appreciate what you do, and I'm very thankful for you. And I told you once I found out ways how to do things like that, I definitely do that. So I gave you a wrench, and that's for whatever you want to promote, or you want to keep the chat, the way you want to keep it in regards to keeping it how we do it, productive, calm, you don't want nobody being disrespectful, etc., etc. So that's why I gave you a wrench. And I also gave you a wrench because the bigger my platform get and grow, I want you to understand that you family and how you deal with me. I'm willing to listen to you, as a sister, and I appreciate that. Nah, you like you tell me, you're doing your thing, so I appreciate it. But I wanted to just show you that modesty and that much sympathy and give you that wrench. You know what I mean? And I'm very thankful for you. And like I said, I'm still learning how to do that. It'll be other people down the road that I will be giving wrenches to, and then it'll be other people that I will be allowing them to share links to their channels and their platforms. Definitely the people that I don't really know too much about them or their platforms, and I'm gonna be also promoting people platforms myself at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Yeah, nah, I appreciate you, my brother. At the end of the day, I'm just thankful that you here and you getting to view my live and getting to see the type of vibe that I be on, my spirit, and you getting to see the type of energy, that I bring on my platform and what I do, man. And like I said, I'm going live because a lot of people been telling me to do so. And I'm not going to even sit here in front some of the people that have been telling me to go live. They never even checked in. And again, because maybe they busy or maybe they don't know. Or, maybe I haven't tapped in with them in a while because I've been preoccupied with my own situation in my own life. And now that I do have a little bit more time, I'm doing these lives. But like I said, I'm gonna be doing these lives really right now on Saturdays and Sundays during the week. I be doing things and I be getting my rest and I be reading and I be doing a lot of studying. So I might not have time to do them during the week, but I know definitely on Saturdays and definitely on Sundays, I'm gonna definitely be going live. And this week coming up, I'm gonna be posting, you know, songs from my album. So at the end of the day, when I do go live, probably next Saturday and or next Sunday, I'm gonna talk about my albums. And I'm not gonna load no pre-recorded videos because I'm doing what I'm doing with my album. These streets busy, and I kind of be all over supporting different people. Nah, I know that, Carla, and I understand that we can definitely reach y'all. Well, no, and I understand that, my brother. Everybody operate differently. For me, I kind of settled down during the week because I be doing so much during the week. So on the weekend, even though I'm gonna be taking it back, I'm gonna have time to really go live. I was doing a lot of my pre-recorded videos on Saturdays and Sundays. Like I sit down and I probably record about 5 or 6 videos, and then I upload them maybe once a week or maybe sometime even twice a week. I will upload a pre-recorded video, but I've been so overwhelmed, and I just really got a new device. That's another reason I'm going live too, because I just got this device. Somebody was nice enough and considerate enough to give me a device because they wanted me to go live. And then again, that's what I mean by support. Instead of them saying you need to go live, you need to do this, they got me a device so I actually can go live. So now I've been taking advantage of that, and I'm still, kind of getting the feel how to use, the laptop, and getting the feel for what to do with the laptop. I'm not saying I don't know how to work a laptop, but this laptop is kind of new. I had it maybe now for about 40 days, 45 days. I didn't have it long, so I'm still getting the feel for the laptop, and like I said, I'm just a humble, thankful person. And like I said, I know the greatness of God at the end of the day. So I don't underestimate God's work. And like I was telling you when I was on your panel, my brother, again, man, no, I really enjoyed your platform. I really enjoyed your panel. It was a good thing. I put it up on my own community board. I shared it with my people, and I'm definitely going to promote it as much as I can. I'm gonna let people know to check it out. I mean, it's kind of long, so you know how people tolerance is, but that's why I speak the way I speak to try to keep people intrigued and in tune, so they could keep listening and they want to stick around. Because, like I said, when you're doing education, you're doing information, people get bored. So entertainment, definitely for people that look like us, is talking about people. It's being loud, it's being ghetto, it's cursing, it's talking about fashion or talking about music. Excuse me. It's just talking about things that people assume is entertainment. And for me, I'm more on the education spectrum on my platform. Like, I want to educate people, I want to inform people as up to how to take care of themselves, on what to do in the tornado, what to do in the hurricane, what to do in the snowstorm, on what to do, if they encounter a wild dog or a deer or a raccoon, things like that, because that become important, after a while. You know what I mean? Society and mankind, they're gonna be how they are. But I'm saying, if you're not prepared for other things that you're not thinking about, you won't know how to deal with them when you confronted with these circumstances and or these situations. So that's why I do what I do on my platform. It's a lot of people that don't know how to swim. It's a lot of people that don't know how to do a lot of various different things, but they so caught up in the latest song, or they so caught up in the latest video, or they so caught up in the latest basketball game, or the latest fashion, or the latest trends. And it's like a lot of people, education is real low. A lot of people don't know how to read, write, articulate. So that's what my platform is here to do, to encourage people. It's not wrong with reading. It's not wrong with writing. It's nothing wrong with, listening to your mother. It's not wrong with listening to your father. It's nothing wrong with, doing things that might seem awkward or unorthodox. It's nothing wrong with that. But when people, criticize you for doing the right thing, or people criticize you for not following what they say and what they do, or the way they operate, or the way they do things, that's why I'm not on Instagram, Facebook, and all those other apps, because again, I don't believe I should be followed. Supported, I appreciate support, but follow, I don't think I should be followed. I really don't think that. So that's why I'm not on none of those websites, because I don't think people should follow me at the end of the day. No, I appreciate, but like I said, people want to support me and support my movement, but I don't think I should be followed. Under no circumstances, I don't think I should be followed. So, uh, what's going on, Frank, my brother? You know what I mean? I appreciate you, man. You know what I mean? Yes, me either. For a different reason, but I agree. Yeah, now, my brother Malik Dome is in the chat. Get to know him. He's a good dude. He's a good brother. I was on his platform earlier. I shared the video from me being on his platform live. He's a good dude. As you see, Frank, I gave you a wrench. I'm learning, like I said, how things go. So you see, I've been working. And you earned that wrench, my brother. So please do what you do in the chat. You know, do what you do, man. I appreciate you, man. That's why I gave you that wrench, for you to be able to to regulate. And I don't even mean regulate like throw people out and just block people just because you have the authority to. It's just because you know how we do, on my live streams. We keep everything positive, we keep everything productive, and we keep the positive juices and we keep the positive energy going and flowing. And like I said, you earned that, my brother. And it's more to come. The more I grow and elevate, the more you'll grow and elevate. I'll get further information from you, and in private, I'll give you my email, and therefore, we can exchange various different information. And the more I grow, the more you'll grow. And I appreciate your time, your effort, your energy, and more importantly, I appreciate your support, man. And it's definitely needed here on Final Say, man. We need more people like yourself. But before you chimed in, Frank, I was just saying that, I understand what a lot of people do on the internet, what a lot of people do on, YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, in regards to how they speak and, what they do. So, now, well, thank you for the trust. You're a blessing, brother. Say nothing up and keep going. Nah, no problem, Frank, man. I told you when I learned how to do things, all I got, is my word. I don't expect for many people to trust me, because trust, you have to earn that. But to believe in somebody, all they got is their word. So, to get somebody to believe in me or believe me is simple, but to get somebody to trust me, I know I have to earn that, and I'm willing to earn that, at the end of the day. But like I was saying, I don't want people to follow me, to support me. Yes, I appreciate that. To subscribe, yes, but to actually follow me, that's a whole another ball game. And that's why I said, I don't have like Instagram and Facebook and other things, at the end of the day, because I don't believe I should be followed. Like I said, but support it, yes, and subscribe, yes, and showing me love on my community board, other things like that. I appreciate that. I don't really promote my Cash App like that. I do, but not all the time, because on these lives I haven't never did it. So at the end of the day, it's really there for my healing experience and for my music. I got it on some of my pre-recorded videos, because it's a part of those pre-recorded videos, because just in case some people may ask. He said, I never looked at. Yeah, nah, Frank. Again, because again, I don't think I should be followed. Like I said, subscribe and support. Those kind of go together from my perspective. That's where YouTube need to change subscription to support at the end of the day. And now you'll really see if people really want to support you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I look at it like a television channel. If you just because you like a show, that don't mean you like the network. I mean, you got me thinking over here. Nah, you know how we do, Frank, man. Like, how we do. Just because somebody may like a show, that don't mean they like a network. So just because somebody may like the NBA, that don't mean they like ESPN. Just because somebody may like football, that don't mean they like Fox 5 or CBS or NBC or whatever networks the game come on. Like, people gotta learn how to separate things. We put everything together all the time. That's why so much confusion too, because I learned how to separate everything. You know what I mean? And then I can put it together. Like, I buy my lettuce and my tomatoes separate. They may go together, yes, but I buy them separately. You see what I'm saying? Now I put them together, but that don't mean that don't mean that I brought them together. So I learned how to separate things, then put them together. Sometimes people put everything together. Things don't always go together. You know what I mean? So I'm learning that the more and more that I read, the more and more that I study. You know what I mean? And just because you share things with people, it don't mean that y'all have everything in common. Salute, James. I appreciate you, man. I came to your platform. I subscribed to your page. I appreciate you for checking in and chiming in. Thanks, man, for your support and everything that you do. I have two of my moderators in the building, and I have my brother Melik Dawn. He's he's in the chat as well. I got my two moderators, Carla and my brother Frank out there. So yeah, but thanks for stopping in and checking in. Before you checked in, James, I was just saying that I don't believe that I should be followed. That's why I don't have Instagram. That's why I don't have Facebook and all those other websites. Support it, yes, but follow, no, because I don't want to lead anybody astray. Because now that somebody may be following me, now I can lead them astray. And now if I lead them astray, I owe them an explanation as to why they followed me to a bad decision possibly could be made out of that. So from my perspective, if people aren't following me, I can't lead anyone astray. At the end of the day, I'm just a firm believer in that. So that's why I'm not on Instagram and I'm not on Facebook and other websites. And also, I believe that through the greatness of God, all I need is support because I give all the credit to the Most High, for the energy that I have, for how positive I am. And like I said, I wasn't who I am today. I had to work on this because I've been through a lot in my life. I have children, by different mothers. So that was a learning experience for me. It was a point that I didn't value being a father, or I didn't value being a man. Because I was running the streets. I've been incarcerated. Like I sold drugs. Like I did things that I shouldn't have done throughout my life. So I'm glad that I lived through those experiences. So now I'm here to uplift and teach other people, factual content and reasons why they shouldn't go that route. There's other ways that you can go. Like I've been homeless. I used to do bottles and cans. Like I've I've gotten secondhand clothes. Like so I'm not too good for anything. You know what I mean? And that's another thing I want to talk about. A lot of people are uncomfortable with taking things from people. So the reason why I know that's hypocritical and that makes a lot of people contradict themselves because some people will take, like if some people really wanted a car and it was used, they would take it. But if somebody said, "Yo, I got these jeans right here and I don't want them no more," I don't want them. I don't. If it's a pair of jeans that they really want, and if it's like of some substance or some name brand, they probably would take it. But if it was just like a regular pair of jeans or like a pair of slacks, somebody probably would want it. But if it was a car, they're like, "Yo, I don't want this Mercedes no more. You can have it. You ain't got to pay me for it. Somebody will just take it." So I'm learning, we pick and choose what we want, how we want it, and who we want it from. I'm learning that. Like you can't always get what you want from who you want it from. Or you may can get, you know, things that you want. It might not come from the person that you want it from. Amen. We see a couple of similar experiences. Still in the way. Right, and again, man, like you got to get out your own way. Sometimes we step on our own feet. You know what I mean? And I used to do that a lot. And I was in dark places with a lot of various different people. People I shared jobs with, people I shared children with, people I had children with. Family members. I was in a lot of dark places in my life, Frank. So what I had to do was I had to find myself. I don't know if you're familiar with the show on Martin. It was an episode he had, before he wanted to marry Gina, when he went to like a cult place where he went to like find himself. You know what I mean? Like I went through that transition. Not saying I've been to like a place like that, but I was just at a point like that where at the end of the day, I just had to find myself and I had to really isolate myself from the world. Like I had to shut the world out and shut the world off because I really had to look in that spiritual mirror every day. And I was unhappy with who I was and where I was at. And it had nothing to do with other people. Other people may have thought it did, but it didn't have something to do with just me. So it was a point when I had to reach out to some people that I had children with. It was like, you know what? I apologize for what I took you through. And if you don't see me fit as being the man I should be and the father I should be, God bless you. God bless me and me and your child, or me and or me and your children, or whatever. But you know what? I gotta find myself. I gotta do what I gotta do. You know what I mean? And peace and power to you. And when that cycle come back around, if you see it as if I'm the man I need to be or the father I need to be, I'm willing to be that. But until then, I gotta do what's best for me. You know what I mean? And I'm not, and I never tell, anybody how to be a parent, or I never tell anybody how to be a dad or mother or a sister or brother or uncle or aunt. I mean, you gotta learn, or a grandparent or a supervisor or a manager. You gotta learn, or a coworker, or how to conduct their business, how to be a CEO, a CEO, or nothing like that's. I'm not here to do that. Like we all gotta live and learn. And with my children, the ones that I do speak to, when I do speak to them, I always tell them this. I say, but when I was 19 or 18 or 21 or 22, I wasn't really listening to orders or direction or rules. So I can't expect you to do the same. I'm just going to give you the best advice that I would want somebody to give me when I was your age. Whether you take it or not, that's a whole nother topic. But at the end of the day, you know, um, I'm just here to explain certain things to you. So I told my aunts, my uncles, other people, my mom and other people, like when I was that age, if it's my son now, when I was 18, I wasn't willing to listen. So I'm not gonna put that pressure on my son to listen. If he's going through whatever trial, tribulation he's going through, I just pray that, he could wake up one day and say, you know what? My father was right, or my aunt was right. I should listen to my father. I should listen to my aunt. I should listen to my grandmother, or I should listen to my grandfather, or I should listen to my dean, or I should have respected my principal, or I should have listened to the guidance counselor, or I should have respected my coach. But I can't pressure my son or my daughter to do that. You know what I mean? Because I understand when I was their age, I was going through certain transitions. So, when I was out there smoking weed, I didn't want nobody to tell me, you getting too old, you need to stop smoking weed. It could damage your lungs. It could mess up your kidneys. It could do this. It could do. I was doing what I was doing. So now that I'm older and I have more experience, I'm looking back at those times. So I'm not going to do that to my own children, or I'm not going to do that to somebody that I got love for, or somebody that I care about. I'm gonna give them time to find themselves. You know what I mean? And if they unable to find themselves, I pray that they do. And if they need me, I'm gonna just give them the best advice that I could give them. And if they don't listen, they don't listen. If they do listen, they do listen. But regardless if they do or they don't, it's still God bless them. God bless their heart. And I pray that they keep their head up, they stay motivated, and they keep doing what's best for them. You know what I mean? And that's what we got to get out of. If we give somebody some advice and they don't listen, we got to get out of, oh, well, I tried to tell you to do the right thing. You don't listen. You hard headed. Like, it don't matter. You did what you needed to do. That's it. At the end of the day, if somebody's not eating healthy, you tell them, look, I love you, but I think you consuming too much salt. I think you consuming too much sugar. And they don't listen. Don't tell them, well, you can get diabetes. You can get high blood pressure. Just say, you know what? God bless you. I just hope that, you stay healthy. That's it. But to ridicule them or to chastise them, to criticize them, nobody wants to hear that. And all you're going to do is end up clashing with that person at the end of the day. No matter who it is, it could be your mother, your brother, your father, your grandfather, your grandmother, your son, your daughter, a coworker, a friend, anybody, somebody just in life walking up the block, it doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, you just try to give people the best information that you can give them. And if they feel like it applies, it applies. And if it don't apply, they're going to let it fly. When we get into the mind state of forcing things on people, we already messed up before we utter word forces cause us. Right, 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 and that's accurate, Frank. And what you saying, Carla? They don't hear you. No, see see, that's why I gave you a Frank and Rich. Now I'm gonna tell you something right now, Carla. I appreciate you. See, now you hear with your ear, Carla, but you listen with your brain. See, so when you say things to me now you know, I would do what we do now. This is what we do. It's like I said, I'm gonna start bringing a lot more humor. You hear with your ear, Carla, but you listen with your brain. Because when you and Frank type things in the chat, I'm so open-minded. Like my mind is open when you guys reply back to me. Now, if I was just hearing you with my ears, I would just keep talking. But I'm not gonna lose my train of thought because why? I'm listening because you hear with your ears. Because it's that old saying, Carla, it going one ear and out the other because they're hearing you. But when you listening, your mind is open to what's being said. You see what I'm saying? So I listen. I'm unable to hear anything. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna go in one ear and out the other. But I listen. So when you and Frank is typing things in the chat, even though y'all typing, I'm listening. So my mind is open at the end of the day. You know what I mean, Carla? And that's why I gave you a Franklin Riches because y'all gonna do this to me. And this is what I mean by we all gonna live and learn and we gonna grow. And it's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful platform and channel when it grow and flourish to what I know it's gonna be. But that's why I appreciate you and Frank. Like because I know y'all gonna do what y'all do. I can tell you're a thinker. Yeah, no, I am a thinker, but I appreciate you and Frank because y'all always finding ways to get to me and get at me, and I love it. Like I really love it. And you see me smiling because that's the point of why I gave y'all wrenches because that's what I need. You see how Frank you just did that comment you just left about the mind state, and you see how you just said what you said to me, Carla. They don't hear you anyway. Okay, right, but they hear what they hear. I listen with my brain at the end of the day, like because that old saying again, it going one ear and out the other. So I'm listening, and when people talk to me anyway in real life, one of my favorite lines is "I'm listening." You know what I mean? So I get it, Carla. So I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful that you and Frank in the chat tonight. We gonna have some fun. I'm old school. Yeah, no, I could tell. I'm just saying at the end of the day, like I appreciate what you and Frank bring to the table. Like it's priceless. I can't put a price on what you guys are gonna do for my platform and for this channel. Like it's priceless at the end of the day. So I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for you guys' energy. I need it. No, I really do. I need it. So again, man, people they hear with their ear. I listen with my brain, and I'm very open minded. You say, I appreciate you for that, Carla. This world needs right. Like we need old school. Right? We need that. Like we need to. Like I said, that's why I say we need to get back to, like the Jeffersons and the Cosby Show and the Family Matters. Like we need to get back to all that. Like a lot of this generation, they need to see roots, to kind of see how strong our ancestors were, to see that our ancestors, dealt with a lot and our forefathers dealt with a lot to help us become who we are. You know what I mean? And that's why, on some of my music and my records, I send rest in peace to my grandparents, my great grandparents, because I know they put up with a lot. You're so welcome. Appreciate you as well. Yeah, so at the end of the day, like I know our grandparents and our great grandparents, they put up with a lot, to to get us to where we are today, and I'm thankful for them, and I'm thankful that, they was willing to sacrifice various different things for us to be who we are and to be where we are today. I'm very appreciative of that and I'm very thankful for that, at the end of the day. But yeah, Frank and Carl, I'm glad you guys have chimed in and checked in. I wanted to for you guys to do that. So when you guys check in and chime in, you can see that you guys are moderators now. And like I said, your support and what you say in the chat is highly appreciated. It's going to be reiterated and it's going to be repeated by myself. 10 times out of 10, because again, I'm going to feed off you guys' food, and again, you guys are a motivation within my own motivation, within my own strength, within my own knowledge. You guys are very motivational for me. These kids are growing up with not a lot of any of that. It's the absolute most and everything. They, yeah, and again, because the way they interact is microwave everything. This is like the microwave era right now. You know, I have a saying like, we grew up in an era and they grew up making errors. So me, you, and Carla, and people in our age group, we grew up in a certain era, and these kids now they grow up just making errors. So that's the difference. Like even though we made errors, we was able to, be checked and rectified for that. Like, okay, we did this. Okay, don't let that happen again. Like you wasn't going to school, pick your head up, go to school, get your education, become something. And even though a lot of us or some of us may have not finished school, we was willing to go back and get our GEDs. We was willing to still educate ourselves after the fact of like, okay, we stopped going to school in 11th grade, or we didn't graduate, but we still was willing to get our GEDs, or we still was willing to learn. Like we still was picking up books. We still was willing to learn from other family members, from other walks of life. Nowadays, books aren't emphasized on being read. A lot of this generation, they don't want to go to the library. Um, do you remember my age? No, I know you. Like I think you said you was like in the 40+ club. I don't want to assume that. You said this is new for me, but maybe a little foreign to me. What you mean? What's new to you, Carla? Help me understand. Like, what you mean? What's new to you? What, the internet? What, technology? Like, what do you mean? What, the era with these kids? Like, what's going on? Like, and when I say Catrice, how you doing? Hello, Final JTV friend calling. Catrice, what's going on, my sister? I appreciate you. Thanks for chiming in. Before you checked in, we were just talking about like being on the internet, how people operate, how people do things. I was saying why I'm not on Facebook, why I'm not on Instagram. I don't believe I should be followed, Catrice. Like, I'm not a huge believer in that. I believe support is not the same as following. I believe that YouTube need to upgrade, subscribe to support, at the end of the day. And I was just saying that what's missing, a lot of these kids, it's the microwave era. We grew up in the era, and they grow up making a lot of errors. And we was able to rectify on our errors because of the era that we grew up in. So it wasn't like an error as in a mistake. It was an error as in a certain tradition that we lived through, and then we lived by. And then we started creating our own traditions, at the end of the day, in regards to how we, respected our forefathers, our ancestors. We was able to like go down south if we was from, like New York or New Jersey or Philadelphia or Boston or Baltimore. We was able to go to Virginia. We was able to go to North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, and see family members we didn't see in the summertime, or vice versa. They was able to come up for the summertime and see us and spend time. And, we was able to have fun and, play stickball and play dodgeball and, play hopscotch, play steal a bacon. The young ladies would play double dutch. We would play goldfish. Like, we were just doing things that they don't do nowadays, and because the internet has taken over and everybody want it right now. Nobody has patience to do anything. Like, in our era, when we went to school, like they was giving us citywide tests. I remember, at least for myself, when I was in school, I got a citywide test in second grade. So they was testing our brain capacity in my era, from what I remember. In the second grade, they gave me a citywide test that I had to take when I was in public school. Nowadays, I believe they start giving them tests maybe fourth grade. So, but when I was going to school in second grade, I got a citywide test. And I remember that vaguely because that was important. Like, my mom's prepped me. I had to do a lot of studying. My father, my aunts, they all prepped me. They was helping me with the, studying for the global studies, for the science, for the math, for the comprehension, for the writing portion. And this was in second grade. And that was important because a lot of my uncles and aunts was like, if you don't pass that test, we ain't getting you enough for your birthday. We ain't getting you enough for Christmas, or you won't be going nowhere for Easter. And it was like, even though now I don't advocate holidays, but that was huge. It was like it was determining a determining factor how good you did with those things, how you got rewarded. Now, this generation just want to be rewarded. It don't matter how hard they work. Like, they don't want to work hard. Give me a PlayStation, give me an Xbox, give me an iPhone. And if you don't get them those things, now they want to rebel. They don't want to go to school. They want to curse. They want to stay out late. They want to stay up late. They don't want to listen. I'm 60 years young. Well, we didn't have cell phones. The kids had not choice back then to play outside. Right. That's what I'm saying. It was like, you earned them TV, you earned that TV, you earned the things that you got. And since, our ancestors, our mothers, our fathers, our grandmothers, grandfathers, also, since they work hard to get what they got, they made you earn whatever you got. So whatever you got, you earned that. Like, and the value of things was more greater when in our era when we came up. So the games, the toys, it was more of an educational game or more of an educational toy. Like, nowadays it's not like that. It's just a video game. They're gonna play the game, run up the light bill, and that's that. And they get exhausted with these things extremely quick. The good old days, Carla. I'm young but still outside in the era. Outside. Right. Like, and not only outside was our internet, but we love to interact with our neighbor or the kids down the street or the kids up the block. And it was good that, we was able to be confined to our block and didn't want to wander off and go 6 or 7 or 8 blocks up because we had so much fun with our neighbors and people from our community and people from our block. So it was fun if, Christmas time, somebody you knew they got a bike or they got a scooter. Now they gonna ride up and down all day, or you gonna ride up and down, or if you got a football, you're like, I'm gonna take this outside right now and I'm gonna go play with my neighbor down the street, and you and him will play catch all day. And y'all was happy with that. Like, it was just you and him. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, that's what it is, man. And they don't value much of anything. No, because it's nothing to value, though, Carla. Like, and that's why I appreciate you. Like, it's not what is there to value. Like, what's of value is the clothes and the sneakers and the belts and the shirts and the jeans. That's what's of value. Like, ain't nothing to value. And if they're gonna watch TV, everything is curse words. Everything is f this, f that. You stink B, you stink H. You a bum, you a bum in and all that. Like, that's what it's about nowadays. Like, oh, you don't know this, you don't know that, and you know they idol worship everything. Everything is bigger than what it really is. Like, basketball is bigger than what it is. Like, if you don't like LeBron James, you're a hater. If you don't respect this, you're a hater. If you don't acknowledge this, you're a hater. And it's like, where did all that animosity come from? Like, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all these people was able to exist because we was able to be free, and we was able to acknowledge, okay, if somebody didn't like Martin Luther King, somebody like Malcolm X, no problem. But it wasn't like if if Frank liked Martin Luther King and I like Malcolm X, now I don't like Frank. It wasn't like that. It was like, yo, Malcolm a deep dude, man. Malcolm a positive brother. And Frank would be like, yeah, you're right. Martin Luther King, a positive dude. He's a positive brother. And that's that. But nowadays, if Frank like Malcolm X and I like Martin Luther King, but I don't like Frank, man. He always talking about Malcolm X. I ain't trying to hear that. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. So you can't even like somebody without somebody else liking somebody else. Now you're at odds about that. Even time was more valuable. Right, of course time was more valuable back then because we appreciated time. Like, we appreciated going to school, that even in school, the guidance counselor talked to you, the nurse talked to you, the lunch cafeteria aides talked to you. Like, everybody took their time. Nobody was rushing to do anything. Now everything is a rush process. Everything. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, everything is a rush process. Nothing is, okay, I'm gonna take my time and get this done. You know what I mean? Like, everything is like, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. And if they don't get it now, they're willing to do anything for it. So if somebody wants to be a rapper, they're gonna do anything it takes to be a rapper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if their mother or their father or their cousin, they say, I was in that. Leave that alone. That's not for you. How you gonna tell me it ain't for me? I'm saying, if such and such became a rapper in 2 months, I could do it. If such and such made it to the NBA, I could do it. And it's like, sometimes everything ain't for everybody. And sometimes certain preparation and dedication you may have to put in there, you may not be willing to take those steps. Remember when you was hanging with someone and it was all about you and that person, all your attention was focused with. No, of course, Frank, but again, it's not like that no more because we easily distracted. You know what I mean? It's like when you went to school and it was official when you found the girl that you liked, you gave her your pen and y'all went steady. Like, that was the big thing around the school. It was like your freight going steady with such and such. Now everybody in the school, you knew you and that girl was going steady. So none of the other boys would say nothing to her, and none of the other girls would say nothing to you. Or none of the other girls would make her feel bad for liking you, and none of the other guys would make you feel a way about liking her. It was like, yo, that's who Frank going steady with. Cool. That's who going steady with Frank. Just leave it there. Like, but now you can't do it like that. You right, Frank. If they go to a game or a concert, anything, the phone get the attention no matter where they at. Even hanging with friends. Right? No, and the phone get their attention because, see, it go like this, Catrice. It go like this, Frank. It go like this, Carla. When Catrice did that book report, she really had to read to find out all the information through the book report. The same thing with you, Frank. Same thing with you, Carla. We had to do all the necessary steps to do that book report. We couldn't go to our phone and say, Google, what's the definition of this? Google, what this mean? Or Siri, what this mean? So it's an easy way for them to be lazy. You see what I'm saying? But for us, we really had to do all the work. We really had to go to the library. Really had to get a library card. Really had to read the book. We really had to do the contents. Like, we really had to study for that math. We had to do the work. We had to really learn literally how to iron. We had to learn how to cook for ourselves. We really had to learn how to do certain things at the end of the day. Like, we valued, when our parents went grocery shopping. We knew, my mother went shopping and my father went shopping. You know what? I'm appreciate this. Good night, everyone. Therapy in the AM at the light bar. All right, Catrice, you get the therapy safe. Peace. and prosperity to you. And have a successful week ahead. I pray that everything go nice with your therapy and everything with your knee. Thanks for checking in and chiming in. Rest well. We really appreciate your time and your support and your energy and your effort, Catrice. Have a blessed one. May God bless you and your family. Yeah, but but that's the point though, Carla. Like, and that's the point, Frank. Like when you did something, like you really had to do the work, like you really had to do the homework. Back when you did that book report, like it wasn't just you could go to Siri, you know what I mean, and say Siri, what's this or what's that? Like you really had to do the work. Now it's an easy way out. You ain't got to read that book. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different. So and again, you had to really study. Now it ain't like that. You know what I mean? So and I get what you're saying, Carla, trust me, but it's not like that no more. Like they don't have to put the effort and the energy, Carla. So that's why they feel like it's nothing. For us, we had to put all the effort and the energy to learn and to do things. Like, excuse me, like remember we was young, it was we had to earn the right to stay up late to watch certain TV shows. We had to earn the right to watch Soul Train because it was like, you too young to be looking at that. Like we had to earn the right to watch certain things. Like it was a privilege to do that. Like your mother be like, or your father be like, or whoever the guardian was around. You know what? You trying to stay up to watch Apollo? You know what? Let me see you make sure you do your homework. And right after this, you're going straight to bed. Like ain't no this, ain't no that. Like you had to earn the right to do certain things. Now these kids don't earn the right to do nothing. It's the privilege era. And if you're not gonna give it to them, they're gonna find a way to get it. They're gonna take it. They're gonna whatever it takes for them to get it, they're gonna do whatever it takes. For us, we had to earn the right for these things. So that's the difference in what you mean, Carla, and that's the difference in what you're saying, Frank. We had to earn these things. Like I remember that vaguely, like my aunt or my uncle or my mom's or my father, whatever, they're gonna say, okay, you trying to do this? Like my father would tell me, you know what? You want to stay up, you want to watch that game, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I really want to see that game. I'm gonna do everything my father said because I want to see that game. I'm gonna do everything my mom's asked me to do because I really want to watch Apollo or I really want to see Soul Train. And another thing, like I said about like TV wasn't how it was. Like it was, they wasn't quick to show a woman in her bra, or they wasn't quick to show men topless. Like it was different. Like that was like late at night, and that was like, you have to have a parent around, when certain movies came out. Like it wasn't just, you could be 16, 17 seeing certain R-rated movies. Like your parents wouldn't allow that. It's like, nah, you can't see that. Nah, if I find out that you did that, watch what I'm gonna do to you. And just the mere fact of that right there, that had us like, you know what, I'm good. I ain't worrying about it. I ain't even trying to get in trouble by my moms. Nowadays, it's like my moms can't tell me nothing, my pops can't tell me nothing. I call ACS, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. It's like none of them things was in place. Like our parents was allowed to be our parents, and nowadays we the parents, or we the uncles, and we the aunts, and we're not allowed to do that without some sort of friction and or attention at the end of the day. And they have so many things to help them not be the children no more. So many things to help them say when they're 13 and 14, well, I'm independent because my phone allowed me to do my homework, or I'm independent because I know how to make my own cereal, or I'm independent because I know how to watch the NBA, or I'm independent because I go to school by myself. Like little things like that. Like it was an honor and a privilege for us to get on the school bus and make it to Yogi Bear and back safe, and to go play those games and be a part of those activities and say, you know what, I went all the way to Yogi Bear. I ain't get in no trouble. I ain't touched nobody's stuff. I made it all the way back. I ain't get into no fights, not like that. I'm thankful. Technology has replaced the babysitter now, so they really don't have right. And not only the babysitter, it just replaced, what you and Frank was saying earlier. It just replaced the aunts, the uncles, the grandmothers, the grandfathers, the mothers, the fathers, the people that was willing to step in and step up and say, you know what, I love you, but you ain't gotta do that. I love you. You ain't gotta do that. Like all those other things replace, the accountability, the respect factor. And then you have some people that became parents, and was doing things that the children was doing, like, buying the tablets and buying the laptops. Like, you know what, I'm gonna just give my son this, I'm gonna give my daughter this, because they still wanted to be on Instagram, or they still wanted to be on Facebook, or they still wanted to do things because they kind of felt or seen as if they was missing out on their youth, or they missed out on certain times and aspects of their lives, because now they became a mother, or now they became a father, or now they got to be more responsible, or it's just various different things. And for myself, the older my children got, that's another reason why I was like, you know what, I don't want to be on Facebook, I want to be on Instagram, outside of the following thing. And that's another reason, I stopped smoking, because like my son was getting older. I don't want to be smoking weed with my son. I don't want to be drinking with my daughter. It's like I got to set some sort of precedent here at the end of the day. So if I'm sitting there smoking and drinking, I could never come to my kid one day and say, you know what, you get a little older, you don't need to smoke. You need to get some rest because you got to go to work tomorrow. So even if they're not in school, it's like, yo, you don't need to smoke. Get you some rest. Take you a nice hot shower. Take you a bath and get ready to go to work. You need to be, you don't need to be so intoxicated for whatever you got to do tomorrow. But if I'm smoking weed with my kid, or my kid always see me smoking weed, or my kid always see me drinking, what type of example am I setting at the end of the day? So I had to think about that. I'd say, you know what? I can't say nothing to my son or my daughter. These kids out there who go on social media and see things other kids have, then they call their parents horrible because they don't have. Yeah, and again, it's easy to shame your mother or your father, or to shame a mother or father or sister or brother or aunt or uncle because you want certain things. But I mean, it's not just, you got to earn things. Like when you earn it, you understand the value of it. See, that's another thing, Frank. Like when you earn things, you see the value in it. Like, no, you're right though, Frank. Like, you know, yeah, not only damn no Frank, ass and B and other things. Like, of course, that wasn't really used on TV, because again, the people who ran TV, they understood that they would lose viewers, because the people who actually viewed these programs would say, you know what, I don't want to watch such and such no more because they showing too much cleavage, or they showing too much of this, or they revealing too much of that. So you know what, we ain't watching that no more. And a lot of the producers and the directors respected that. Like I said, even though they was about the money, they still had dignity, honor, and integrity. Now the people who run these networks, they don't have dignity. They don't have honor. They don't have integrity. So that's why the TV shows are the way they are. That's why social media the way it is. They've been about the money. I'm not running from that. But they had dignity, honor, and integrity because they were somebody's grandfather. They were somebody's mother. But now the people that became the grandfathers and the grandmothers and the mothers and the fathers, they don't have integrity no more. So that's being put on the TV. That's being put on social media. That's being displayed in the music. That's being displayed with sports. That's being displayed in fashion. Like at the end of the day, like the models wasn't half naked when we came up looking at music videos. So it don't matter if it was a Run DMC video. The dancers wasn't half naked. It don't matter if it was a LL Cool J video or Big Daddy Kane. I'm not saying they didn't do it at all, but it was very rare when that they did it. You know what I mean? So now every video is like that. Every song they saying M bombs, they cursing, they talking about having weapons, they talking about shooting, stabbing, selling drugs. And that's one of the main reasons why I got out of the music, because I didn't want to feed into that. And it was like, you know what? Before my platform get big, and before I become a household name, or I become the focal point in somebody's son or daughter life, and in their ears all the time, or in their iPod, or their iPad, or in their laptop, let me rethink my steps. So that's why now when my music come out, it's going to be different. It's going to have a spiritual feel to it. It's going to have some authenticity to it. It's going to have some character to it. It's going to have some backbone to it. It's going to have some structure to it. It's going to have some stability to it. And I know that's not going to get a lot of listens and a lot of spins, but I don't care about that. Remember when Too Loud Cool had the album cover band because of right? Exactly, Frank. Exactly the point. Exactly, exactly the point. That's what's going on. They got it banned because the record labels and executives knew this is not a good look. Like, we're not gonna stop y'all record, but we can't put that out there at the end of the day. Like, we can't do that. Same thing with Ice-T, because remember, the difference was with Ice-T, even though his record cover got banned because he had the machine gun and he had his wife, but that was still his wife that was on the record cover like that, like with the bikini on or whatever she had on, but that was still his wife. 2 Live Crew, that was just a woman that they had. The only thing, again, though, Frank, it did get banned, but now I'm glad you brought that up. But now let's get into that a little bit. At least for the woman, at least for the woman they had on there, Frank, they gave her that respect, Carla, because they did not disclose her face. Nowadays, they don't hide these women's faces. A lot of these women have kids. A lot of these women have other professions outside of dancing in the video or outside of being in the video or outside of being an Instagram model. Like, they want to go back to work and be a nurse, but they online twerking or they online showing half of their body parts. It's like, and then when they get banned, it's like, well, how they going to ban me? I'm free. No, but you work for a corporation and a company, and that corporation, that company don't want to send that message to not only other employees, but the next generation. Because now, how they going to screen somebody to get that job that you got? And it's like, if you could just go on Instagram and shake your behind and do this and do that, it's like, come on. So, what type of company do you think I'm running here? Where I want you to be drawing somebody blood, but then later that night, I want you on Instagram half naked, or I got you selling these products, and then later that night you on the internet and you half nude. It's like, nah. Or if you a man, you on the internet and you got a bottle of liquor in your hand and you got a blunt in your hand. It's like, I hired you to do something for my company. I don't want to promote that. And I'm not, and again, they're not telling people not to do these things. They're just saying you can't work for my company or my corporation. And these kids get upset. And that's Carla's point, and that's your point. So I'm with you 100%, Frank. I understand what you're saying. Again, they're not saying that you can't be on the internet half naked or you can't be on the internet drinking and smoking or whatever you're doing. I just don't want you working for my company. That's what's going on. And a lot of these kids get upset about that. How you gonna tell me what to do? This is my Instagram. They're not telling you what to do. They're telling you what they don't want in regards to their corporation and or their company and or at the job site. That's what they're telling you they don't want. But since you don't have enough education or you have enough values or you have enough integrity, enough dignity, you don't want to respect that and accept that for what it's worth. So now that employer or that boss or that manager, they become the target now. It's like, oh, well, forget this job. I didn't want to work here anyway. Or these people trying to tell me what to do. See what I'm saying? I could never be who I want to be. You can. They just don't want you a part of their corporation or their company. It's just that simple. You made your decision when you decided to do what you wanted to do. For every action, there's a reaction. That's it. It's not. They don't hate you because you're on the internet twerking, or they don't hate you because you're on the internet smoking weed or drinking, or you throwing up gang signs or whatever. They not mad at you for that. They just said they don't want that in reference to their company, their corporation, or whatever that job is. That's a social worker. Right. Exactly. Uh, what else did you call it? A good analogy. Right. No, and again, when we came up, it was called BCW. It was called the Bureau of Child Welfare. One day I just woke up and it was ACS. I'm like, what's ACS? Like, what's this? ACS. It was BCW when I was younger. It was the borough, and they really took them jobs serious. When them people came for home visits, if something wasn't right, they removed your son or your daughter away from the home, and your parents had to do everything in their power to make sure that not only they were serious about getting you back, but that home structure, stability was there, or you wasn't going back home and you were being foster care. They wasn't playing about that. And another thing that was different, the authority figures, the judges was serious. They was like, you know what, Miss So and So, Mr. So and So, if you really want your kid back, you're gonna do this within the next 6 months. That's it. Now the judges ain't even like that no more. The lawyers aren't even like that no more. Or the paralegals aren't like that no more. Or the secretaries aren't like that no more. Like, because it's the generation of everybody want what they want and they don't care. As long as they get what they want, they happy with that. Anyone who's passion. Oh yeah. Nah, I appreciate that. But yeah, what you guys saying is 100%. And And that's why I appreciate you guys, and I gave you guys riches. And when I say this, Carla and Frank, I'm saying this in a fun, loving way. That's why I appreciate you guys, but you guys get on my nerve because that's why I gave y'all riches because y'all know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it, and I love that. So remember, when I tell you Carla, when I tell you Frank, y'all get on my nerves is in a good way because this is what I need. I need this to keep this going. This is when people come in. This is going to keep people stuck to these live streams because when I say something, Frank know how to chime in. Carla know how to, and that's what I need. So I love you guys. And again, thank you guys for getting on my nerves. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Frank. I knew you knew how to get on my nerves. Thank you, Frank. I knew you know how to get on my nerves. Thank you, Carla. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's the era we in right now. Everybody wants it, how they want it, when they want it right now. And another thing, that we used to do that was real, like Frank said, when we was outside playing, it was all about who we played with and how we played with them. And a lot of times our parents or our uncles or our guardians knew the person that we played with. And they'd be like, nah, such and such could come in, they could have a sandwich, they could have some Kool-Aid, wash your hands, y'all sit down and eat, and it wasn't an issue if Frank was my neighbor and me and him was close as kids and his mother knew me or my mother knew him and say, you know what, Frank, come in, sit down. Ain't nothing. If you hungry, come get you something to eat. Frank didn't feel no way if he said, Miss So and so, I'm kind of hungry. Same thing with me. Excuse me, Miss So and so. My mom's not home right now, and she may be coming in late. I ain't really got nothing to eat. They'll feed you. Here goes something to eat. And we didn't have too much pride. They said, I only got a little bit of steak and rice and peas. I only got a couple lamb chops. I only got this and that. It wasn't, I don't eat that. I don't want that. Nah, I'm good. It wasn't none of that. Nowadays, like, I don't want that. Why you giving me that? Why you feeding me that? Who said I wanted that? We was thankful for the meal that was there because we knew it took a lot for them to prepare that meal. Our friends and parents would ask us, who's your mom? Exactly. They would ask that. Do your mom know you here? Or whoever your guardian was. And that's right, Frank. And like I said, when they did that, if they fed you, they would let your aunt or your uncle or your mother or your father, well, when such and such over, they ate. Nowadays, parents really don't know who their children. Right, exactly. And that's why, and I'm gonna be honest, that you went there, Carla. That's why I still have issues with a lot of my younger children and the mothers because I'm from the old school. I'm stern. So, it's like I don't want to be my friends' friends. I don't mind being friendly, but I don't want to be their friends. And I tell their mothers that I don't mind being friendly, but I don't want to be their friends. And at the end of the day, I get chastised and criticized. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that because I'm not trying to tell their mothers how to be mothers. I'm just saying for me, I want to be friendly, but I don't want to be their friends. It's a difference from that. I could be friendly with my son because only reason I want to be friendly with my younger children because I want to get to know what's on their mind, what they're thinking about. What's their next move, but I don't want to be their friend because now they're going to get comfortable, and now when they get comfortable, they're going to think they don't have to abide by certain rules and regulations. But if I get friendly, I can understand, okay, well, what they doing on the internet, what games they playing, who they talk to on the internet, what they doing when they're in school, because I'm getting friendly with them. But if they think I'm their friend, they ain't gonna want to really respect what I'm saying. They ain't gonna want to listen, and they ain't gonna want to acknowledge nothing because they're gonna look at me as their equal. And on no levels where my mom's ever accepted me as an equal. And bless her heart for that. Same thing with my father, or the same thing with my aunts, or the same thing with my grandparents. And I appreciate them for that. I maybe didn't do it when I was younger, but the older I got and the more mature I got, I'm thankful that they never allowed that to happen. I'm so thankful for that. You know what I mean? I'm so thankful for that. And I'm also thankful for the fact that when in our era, somebody like your uncle was able to chastise you and criticize you, and your mother or your father would support that. Like what your uncle told you. Why you not listen to your uncle? Go sit down somewhere. You gotta listen. That's still your uncle. That's still your aunt. Nowadays, it's like, don't be telling my son what to do. I understand that you're my brother. I understand you're my sister, but this my son. This my daughter. If you don't like it, don't come back to my house. You don't like it, don't call my phone. But they ain't gotta listen to you. And that gives these kids more room to rebel. That gives these kids more reasons to not listen. What you say? Swimming upstream is the day for our brains that way. We stand for the right ways. and we all looked for kindly. But no, that's true. But I'm okay with that. No, I mean, no. Trust me, Frank. I understand. I'm just saying, like, it was like that. You know what I mean? Like it was like that. It was like when your uncle put some rules and regulations down. At the end of the day, we all respected it. And like I said, if you didn't, your mother would tell you, your father would tell you about it. Would you say, Carla? I was a cool parent for my kids. Their friends respect me. I often had their friends over and I made opinions and bless your heart for that. And again, though, Carla, like you from the old school, so you know what I mean. So I get it, like I get it. You from the old school, so you know what it's like. And again, we need more people like you, Carla, because at the end of the day, you seen more than me, you seen more than Frank, so you could give me and Frank a different perspective. Like you understand what it's like to deal with and go through certain things. You understand at one point, like going to church, you understood what it was like to really be dedicated, excuse me, to understand what it's really like to be dedicated to go to church. To anyone out there, if you're swimming upstream these days, know that doing that takes a strong individual. You are a warrior. You are. Yeah, exactly. Like you know what it's like, Carla, to and that's well said, Frank. You know what it's like, Carla, to have to get up every Sunday, be dedicated to go to church, rain, sleet, hail, or snow, be dedicated to the reverend, be dedicated to the deacon, be dedicated to the pastor. Like, you know what that's like because church was the emphasis, whether you wanted to do it or not. It wasn't the point. It was the point that we followed the structure that was in place. Like, I didn't rebel against my parents until I got older. Like, you know what I mean? Until I was old enough for my mom to say, well, you believe that? You're on your own. And one thing I appreciate about my mom's, when I was getting older, the 16s and 17s, and it was like you wasn't listening, she like, well, you're not gonna be in my house doing that. I don't know where you're gonna be, but you're not gonna be around me. You're not gonna be in here. And she wasn't a bad mother. She wasn't neglecting me or rejecting me. It's just that structure got to be there. Like it was no game. Like you could do things back then. Like your mother will come up to the school and embarrass you in front of all your friends. And it was nothing at the end of the day. No BCW was called. The police wasn't called. It was no big deal. It was like you wasn't listening. That's what happened. And you know what? After that happened in school with your mother, your other peers in the class respected you a lot more and your mother because they're like, you know what? But I don't want his mother to come up here. She probably would do that to me. I'm good. You know what? You know how your mom's is. You better go straight home. You know how your mom's is. You better do your homework. Or you know how your mom's is. Or you know how your father is. At the end of the day, and another thing we did too, when we got out of school, we did our homework before we watched TV or before we ate anything, and we respected our school clothes. Nowadays, these kids don't respect their school clothes. These kids don't respect coming home, doing their homework, then eating. They just immediately go home, don't really want to wash their hands. They want to go straight to the refrigerator, eat up what they want. They don't really want to do no homework or not like that. They run straight to the internet, straight to websites. But we came home, take your school clothes off, wash your hands, do your homework, don't turn that TV on at the end of the day. And our parents unplug the TVs, our aunts, they unplug the TV. Don't touch that TV. And another thing, too, you said, if that happened now, jail would. Yeah, exactly. Now, another thing, too, that was important when we came up, a lot of things wasn't at our disposals. Like I'm not saying when I came up, remote control TVs wasn't relevant, but that was more that was more of a privilege for you to be able to have if you had your own room, a remote control TV. So you had to really get up to turn the TV on or to change the channel. So at the end of the day, that's another thing. Everything is so accessible for these kids. So it's easier for them to rebel against their mother or their father or their guardian or whoever because so much things are accessible. Like we didn't have immediately we didn't have cell phones. First it was beepers that came out first. So now if you had a beeper, you had to be important to have a beeper. Then you had to have the necessary funds to go call somebody back. So after beepers, then cell phones became more relevant. So VCRs was out, not DVD players yet. So again, things that was to our disposal, we had to earn those things. You had to earn the right to watch the VCR. You couldn't just, oh, I want to watch the VCR. You had to earn that. You had to be good in school. You had to listen. It's like, all right, you was listening. You know what? I'm gonna let you watch a movie. Go ahead. You could put on that movie. You good? Go ahead. Or you could watch them cartoons. Go ahead. But you know what? You're gonna watch that for about this time, and that's that. And then, like I said, you gonna send me to my room. Yeah, exactly, exactly. But again, it's so much nowadays. These kids want to be in their room, because it's so much things accessible to them. But for us, when we went to our rooms, you could be sent to your room. Your parents will take the TV. They'll take the games. They'll take the Atari or the Nintendo or the ColecoVision, except they'll take those things away from you. So it was nothing. Or they'll take your radio. You can't even find a payphone if you had a pay. Exactly, Frank. No, you right though, Carly. You're right. So and that's what I mean by we had to work and earn everything. Nowadays, and even when we was going to school, like when we would go to the stores that knew us, the store clerks knew us. Like, yo, why you ain't in school, or what you doing hanging out? You're supposed to be going straight home. I'm gonna let your mother know. I'm gonna let your father know. That's how the communities was. The people in the stores would even let your parents know. I seen your son over here. He was hanging out. I seen your daughter. She ain't go straight home. She was up there lollygagging with them other kids. And another thing about that, going to them stores, they knew you, so they'd be like, okay, you got a quarter, they'll look out for you and say, I'm gonna give you an extra piece of candy, but you better go straight to school. You know what I mean? But yeah, I know Frank going there, right? Yeah, like my mom sometimes took my life. Right, but that's the thing though, Frank. But that because at the end of the day, you wasn't listening. You know what I mean? Like, and again, I got a video on like in the very beginning when I first started talking about being thankful for who you got and what you got. And I talked about that. Like I was a kid, I just wanted to eat up all the cereal, or I wanted to get what I wanted to get for Christmas. So I thought because my moms didn't get me what I wanted for the 4th of July or for Easter that my mom's was a bad mother. It wasn't that. It was like I had to earn those things. And outside of earning those things, my mother had to work hard. My father had to work hard to get me those things. Not only to get me those things, but to pay bills, to keep the roof over our head, to buy food. And these kids don't understand what it's like for you to be able to have to buy groceries, for you to be able to pay bills, to pay a light bill, or to pay a water bill, or to pay a gas bill, and then pay rent or pay a mortgage, and then buy them $100 sneakers, then buy them a $400 video game, then buy them controllers, or buy them a $300 iPod. Or that stuff costs money, man. And at the end of the day, if you're not in the right mind frame and you're not doing the right thing, you got to earn those things. And a lot of times, it's not earned. And if it's not given to them, they rebel. Or they say, my mom don't love me, or my father don't love me, or my mom be having money, she don't want to buy me nothing. My father be having money, he feel like I don't deserve this and I don't deserve that. And outside of all of that, even if your parents are on the same level or your parents are seeing eye to eye, the government now have broken up the homes, have broken up the families, with allowing a lot of parents to get comfortable with being on welfare, or taking the fathers out the homes with the child support, and various other different entities that have kicked in where it's like, okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna separate. We're gonna give the mother this public assistance right here, but we're gonna make sure that she take that man out the household because of that stability and that structure. Because at the end of the day, mothers are accustomed to loving their children unconditionally. It's not that men don't love their children unconditionally, but men are more stern at the end of the day. So a man, even with their own daughters, they're gonna say, you know what? I'm not saying you can't have a boyfriend, but you know what? You got to come straight home from school. Let me check your books. Let me make sure you're doing everything right in school. You know what? That boy could take you out to a movie, but you got to come back in at 10 o'clock. Now, the mother may say, I don't care if you have a boyfriend, come back at 12. And it's not that the father is worse than the mother, it's that he understand what the repercussions are going to be. The mother understand the repercussions. However, she's trying to be a little bit more lenient, and the government understood that. So at the end of the day, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna make the mother and the father argue. So now, once we get separation amongst the mother and the father, the kid can roam free because they don't have structure and stability from both people, and it's needed that way. Definitely with people that look like me, and people from my background and from my culture. So now we're going to separate them. And now, once we get the mother and the father separated, that kid is going to rebel against the mother or the father, or the mother and the father. And that's working now. I'm not gonna lie, I got caught up in the text sometime because I panic if I leave the house without my phone. Well, nowadays, caller, I mean, it's like that. Like we need our phones to do various different things. So it's not that you got caught up in tech. It's like that's the way of the world. It's like me, you, and Frank. Remember, it was a point where you ain't need a converter box to watch TV. Like we just had the rabbit ears and we was good. Like we could turn the TV, we could turn the channels, we good. But nowadays you gotta have a converter box, you gotta have an antenna. So it's different. Like they because that's the way of the world now. Like so you're not caught up in tech. It's just they set everything up like that. I only have Wi-Fi for my phone at my house. I got rid of my service 7 years ago. And no one for you. Well, I respect that, Frank. I appreciate that. One of the best. Right. I have Wi-Fi, but I have it for like this, for me to be, on my platform. Excuse me, to have my platform grow, so I don't have to pay for cable television things like that. But I don't have it for other reasons and for other purposes. And I'm like you, Frank. I prefer the text, really on my phone. And I have a free phone, one of those free government phones at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like I don't have like an iPhone. Like so that's what I use. Like I tell my kids that all the time. Like I don't have a phone bill. Like I'm taking advantage of the things that they give away. Some people look at me like I don't want that. Like okay, so you rather spend money on the iPhone, you rather pay a phone bill. I'm good. Like I'm good. And I'm thankful for that. At the end of the day, because it's one less thing that I have to put money into. It's one less resource I got to worry about at the end of the day. If I lose it, just get a new one. But I have to worry about like somebody looking at it, and that's another thing that these kids don't understand. All these new gadgets and gadgets. That's why crime is high because somebody be like, "Yo, that's the new iPhone 13. We're gonna take that. We're gonna steal that. That's the new such and such. We're gonna take that. Oh, they got a nice chain, or they got a nice car. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Like a car is a car. I mean, of course, some vehicles have better features than others, but that's how we get caught up in unnecessary things. If I break down inside the road, which I have, it's dangerous if you don't. No, no, caller, it is, and you're correct, and you're right. But I'm just saying, a lot nowadays, people feel like they gotta have an iPhone, or if somebody got a laptop, they gotta have an Apple laptop, or somebody gotta have an iPad. They just can't get a regular tablet for $50, hypothetically speaking. They gotta have an iPad. You don't have to have an iPad. You know what I mean? I don't have children, and my phone gave me access to things that ruined me. I had to get rid of, and it gave me access to the. No, I understand that. Right, right. Any phone call 911 without service. Facts, 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 facts. Any phone, it don't even matter. As long as it got power, you could dial 911. That's a fact, and that's why I appreciate you, Frank. And that's why you had to get that rich, my brother. You too, caller, because at the end of the day, this is what we need on YouTube. This is what we need on the internet. We need see what's not on the internet is stuff like this. It have to constantly be on the internet. So this generation and the one after it is they have no choice, and it's crammed and rammed down their throat. It's like I don't have no problem with that other community, and you guys know what I'm talking about. You can't really talk about that on the internet too much. I don't have no problem with that other community, but that other community is forcing their ways and their beings on people. It's all on commercials. It's like in every movie. They got it in cartoons. And again, I want them to be who they are. However, like Frank said earlier, don't force nothing on nobody. Whoever you been, that's who you been. But their ways are forced on people. Like I don't have to know that an actor or rapper or singer or athlete or whoever is that. Like you don't have to disclose that. That's their personal life. You don't have to say this person is such and such. I don't need to know that. Just let them do what they do. If they're an actor, let them act. If they're a ball player, let them play ball. If they're a singer, let them sing. But you don't have to say this person is that. This director is that. Like, and again, I have no issues with that community. Actually, I appreciate them because they have their own rights and they fought to get things in place that they need for them and their community. I'm just saying, like Frank said earlier, don't force anything on anybody. And all I'm saying is by you putting it on commercials and you putting it in movies, you putting it in cartoons, and you got certain things at the schools. Like if somebody wants to be that, let them be that, but don't force it on them. That's all I'm saying. Don't force. And it's like It's like with anything. It's like with gang banging culture. Don't force somebody to be a gang member. Don't do that. Don't be like, yo, if you don't get down with this gang, we gonna do this. Don't force anything on anybody. When, when I have car trouble, I would um, call home before I do go. But no, I understand that. No, I understand that, Carla, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, Frank' point was that you can have a phone that doesn't have service, and the bottom line is you can still dial 911. Like some people take little things like that for granted. That you can have a phone that's not literally on where you can't call not one single person, but if you're in a dilemma or a jam, you could dial 911, and that sometimes that's forgotten. At the end of the day. Now that's different if the battery dead. There you go. That's different if the bat. Of course, if the battery dead, you can't do that. That's obvious. Like if the battery dead, you can't do nothing. Like it, it ain't gonna even be on at the end of the day. Like come on, like we all know that. Like come on, don't start no trouble now, Carla. Like don't start that. Like come on, we all know if the battery dead, you can't do that. Like that's just how that go. Like the battery die, you can't. Though you know what I mean. But yeah, now I appreciate the the sense of humor. Well, yeah. I mean, if you break down on the side of the road, one thing you got to be careful of nowadays is, people like to take advantage of people, and I'm learning this. The older, we get as being older, people think, because we older that we susceptible to more. You know what I mean? Thank you for that. I appreciate that, caller. People think that the older you get, you susceptible to things. I don't work out to have muscles. I work out to stay in shape, to stay fit because I never know if I gotta run. I never know if I gotta help somebody by running. I never know if I have to help somebody by lifting something. I never know if I have to help somebody fix something. So if I'm in shape, then I can be able to do those things at the end of the day. But I'm not working out to display for muscles and things. Nah, that's like I'm way beyond that at the end of the day. I was in my mind putting myself there and I was laughing over. Yeah, no, because at the end of the day, Carla, what she trying to do is Frank, she trying to ruffle our feathers and get in our and get under our skin. I know what she's trying to do. And I appreciate it because she heard what I said about bringing some humor and bringing some laughter because a lot of times when you're learning and you're displaying important information, some people get bored with that. So that's why I'm glad I gave you guys wrenches and I made you guys moderators. And another thing I appreciate what Carla just did, she's understanding my point about bringing laughter. The same thing with you, Frank, about bringing laughter, about bringing a different element. So when we get other people to come in and chime in and check in, they get to understand that even though we display education and information that, we still laugh and we still got a sense of humor. And if that happens to be cut to be like that. So at the end of the day, a lot of people, got to understand that when people come to this platform, that we do got a sense of humor, we will have fun, and we will be cracking jokes. So and again, I appreciate that, and I'm really appreciating this live stream. It's turning out, real great. I don't have an expectation on any of these live streams. I'm just doing this, from the heart, and keeping my spirit and my soul connected to it, and it feels great. And I'm real thankful that you guys are warming up to me and getting loose in the chat and becoming more comfortable in the chat. Me for one, I keep portable battery chargers everywhere, which I keep charging to make sure I do. Yeah, and that's what you're supposed to do. I do that. I got portable chargers. I try to keep my devices charged up as much as possible as well. It says this 5 people in the building. I only see Frank and Carla. So whoever else is out there, I appreciate it if you hit the like button. If you are new, this is on Final Say TV. I'm your host, the Enlightened One, highly gifted Dr. Wright, which is I display righteousness and direct results. And I have my moderators in the building, Frank and Carla. So whoever's out there, I appreciate it. If you do subscribe or hit the like button. I grew up in New Jersey until I was a teenager. Then I moved to Philly, and now I live in the country in South Carolina. Well, the South is always good. Um, I was in Texas at one point. I really appreciated it out there. When I was out there, I lived in a lot of various different places. So I appreciate Texas in the South because I appreciate it because a lot of people own their own properties, they own their own homes. A lot of people have licenses for their weapons and things like that, and I appreciate that because it keeps people minding their own business. It keeps people on edge. It keeps people understanding and knowing that you know if if you stay to yourself, but however you still be hospitable and you respect your neighbor, you won't have no problems. In the cities, and a lot of these like the Chicago's, the Detroits, the Boston's, the New York, people can't really carry weapons like that. So that's why crime is different. But in the South, you can. A lot of people have licenses for their weapons. A lot of people protect their property. So that's why I respect the South. At the end of the day, because and a lot of those people, they still have the ways of the South. Like how it used to be back in the 60s and 70s, in the 50s and all that. So for me, I appreciate that. Like I said, in the New Yorks and the Detroits and the Chicagos and the Phillies and in those cities like that, crime is high because at the end of the day, a lot of people aren't allowed to carry licensed weapons. You got to go through a lot to be able to be a certified, you know, uh, licensed carrier to carry a weapon. So that's why crime is the way it is, and things happen the way that it happened. You know, well, you said you 45 minutes outside of Philly. Well, that's good, Frank. Again, man, I'm real thankful for you guys. This live was great. I was raised in the projects of the city. Grew up in different yeah, I grew up in New York, Brooklyn, so I understand what it's like to be in the projects in the city. And speaking of the projects, actually, people treat it as if it's that like the projects. People, they urinate on the elevators, they write their names on the wall. And when I was younger, I was guilty of doing not the urinate in the elevator, but writing my name on the wall and things like that. And I had to really grow up, understand that like I'm bringing the property value down of my community and of my area. And I was thankful, like when I was going through my little stints of being incarcerated and or institutionalized, as they say, that I had the real old timers that would sit me down and talk to me and tell me, yo, you don't want to be in here, you want to go out, you want to live better, you want to do the right thing, man. God love you, your family love you, and don't come back in here, man. I'm being here for 30 years, I'm being here for 40 years. Like, this ain't a good place to be, and yada yada yada. And I'm glad that they talked to me. I'm glad that they was different for these 80% what it was. It's not reported on the news. People are really struggling more than it's right. I made sure my children grew up different environment. Well, for one, what you said, Frank, I understand that literally. The news never reports it, how things really are. And in reference to what you're sharing, Carla, that's what I want for my younger children. And that's one of the problems that I'm having now, because I don't vibe with, the mothers the way I believe that we should be vibing because I want to pull my children, out of the inner cities and because where I am right now is like the suburbs, so to speak. So I want to pull them out of that. So now, they can get a different feel to know what it's like to go to a different school, to know what it's like where people aren't yelling every day, people aren't screaming every day. They're not going to constantly hear sirens. They're not going to be subject to people, vandalizing property or stealing your property or breaking into homes and cars, etc., etc. I want them to be able to see something different. And this is what I tell my children, and also I tell the mothers. I want to get to a point with my younger children, even with my older ones, and they starting to come around because that comes with growth and maturity and learning. But with the younger ones, I want them to give me the same opportunity as they give their mom. I want to be able to make mistakes and they still allow me to be their father. You know, my oldest is on 20, 26. My youngest is like 11. And I have, in between those ages right there, Frank. My oldest is my daughter. She's 26, and then my youngest is 11. But I have children in between 26 and 11, those ages. So, like 22, 15, 24. So various different ages. But yeah, I want my children to be able to embrace me, and allow me to make mistakes. And I want to be able to for bumps to be along the passageway in the road, and them still deal with me the same way. You know, oh, nah, I appreciate that. Yeah, nah, I appreciate that. I just try to, take care of myself. Yes, Frank, my family still live there, South Philly with my mom live in West Philly, and my sister live. Well, I mean, I know how Philly could be. You know what I mean? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I just want my kids to allow me to make mistakes and still deal with me the same way. Gotcha, Carla. Hey, okay, it is. Yeah, anything I they need it, they get at me. I mean that. Well, that's beautiful, Frank. That's beautiful, Frank. That's beautiful, man. I appreciate you, man. You're a real good person, and I'm glad that you chimed in, and I'm glad I was able to find out how to give you a call of the wrenches because you guys earned that. You guys deserve that. But yeah, I just want to get to that point in that process, with my children where they're able to allow me to make mistakes and still embrace me as they father and not hold me to a double standard where where when I make a mistake or I do something, it's like that is held over my head, longer than it should be. I'm not gonna say longer than their mother, no, because I'm not here to point fingers, but I'm saying longer than it should be. I should be, work with, like because I'm still learning how to become a better man and a better father. However, if I'm able to deal with them for extended stretch. Like I can't do things in 6 months that take 2 years. I can't do things in 5 months. And I'm only given a month to do it. I need the same amount of time back so I can put that work in. At the end of the day. You know what I mean? But if I'm not allowed to put that work in, on like if something takes 6 months, you can't expect me to get it done in 2 months. If something take a year, you can't expect me to get it done in 5 months. Like, the time got to be granted. If something take 2 years, you can't expect me to get it done in 8 months. I got to be equal opportunity for me to really put the work in. You can't expect me to put that work in this 2 years worth of work. You can't expect me to do it in 8 months. You're giving somebody else, you know, um, 3 years, that take, you giving somebody 3 years, to do something that take 8 months. Like, so give me equal opportunity, and I know I'm gonna make mistakes and it's gonna be bumps in the road, but that don't mean that I don't love you. That don't mean that I'm not gonna be there for you. You just gotta allow me to it's like on the job training, being a parent. And when you become an adult, because you're still learning things as you grow and mature in life. You know what I mean? It's not only with being a parent, that this is life. That's who I am. Says the Most High calls me to, and I'm blessed to help wherever I can, wherever I can. Bless your heart for that, Frank. Like, bless your heart for that. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that you're acknowledging that, on that level. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful for you guys. I'm an hour and 47 minutes in. I'm gonna go to the 2 hour mark, and I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for this. And keep the jokes coming, Carla. Keep the jokes coming, Frank. We need it. To keep when we get more people in here, to keep the chat open and to keep this going. I mean, it says it's 4 people in here, but I'm only seeing you and Carla talk. So whoever's there, thank you for being there. You don't have to say nothing in the chat. I appreciate you. And like I said, if you didn't subscribe, it's Final Say TV. I'm your host, the Enlightened One, highly gifted Dr. Wright, which is I display righteousness and direct results. And also with those direct results, you do your own homework, you do your own research. And I believe what you do in your own homework and your own research with some of the advice, education, and or information I'm giving, you'll receive and you'll be able to get direct results from that. So that's why I call myself Dr. Wright. I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of studying, I do a lot of research. What I do research on humanity, mankind, finances, politics, religion, spirituality, medicine, health, um, um, mental health, physical health. I study the planet. I study animals. I study the ocean, everything. I just try to do a lot of homework and research on things in life. And I'm a firm believer that your spirit and your soul have to be connected. You know, why I say that, before I get back into your spirit and your soul, I'm gonna say this to whoever is watching and whoever may watch the playback. This is very essential. Mankind and humanity, they run the world and they run the nation. I respect that. I get that. God runs the universe. The universe ain't the world, and the universe ain't the nation. God runs that, the universe. Mankind and civilization run the world and the nation, and they can have that. So getting back to what I was saying now, I need my spirit to be connected with my soul so God can open up the universe for me. Now, what you saying, Frank? Okay, so here's the question, brother. Yeah, I'm listening, Frank. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead, brother. But I need my spirit and my soul to be connected so God can open up the universe for me. That's what I need. So I'm gonna let mankind continuously run the nation and run the world. You know what I mean? So, and that's just how that goes. But go ahead, Frank. I'm waiting. Okay, you said, I've been seeing that as a man gets more according to the earth responds in kind. I've been seeing that. Yeah, and right because, see, a lot of people don't get that, Frank. Like, see, the reason why the universe opens up when your spirit and your soul is connected is because you need your soul to be entwined with your spirit so God can open up the universe for it at the end of the day. Like the universe can't get open for you unless your spirit and your soul is one. So you need your spirit and your soul to be connected for God to open up the universe for you and to you. So you can see things that other people can't see and won't see at the end of the day. You know, um, so that's why God opened up the universe for certain people, throughout time on the planet and doing certain people existence on the planet. So that's why things are the way they are because mankind and civilization think because they have a say so in their country or their city or their state or their borough or their block or whatever it is that they in control. And I agree that they can have that. They can have that. Long as my spirit and my soul is one, God gonna open up the universe. So the reason we seeing things with climate, storms, disasters due to the wicked thing. Right, right. At the end of the day, and that's God opening up, opening up the universe for people that's more in tune with their spirit and their soul. So God can show you, okay, like a natural disaster and a national disaster is two different things. A natural disaster is what you're talking about, Frank. A national disaster is created by man. A natural disaster is God talking to the chosen people. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that one more time. A national disaster is created by mankind and civilization. A natural disaster is created by God. See when your spirit and soul get connected, God teaches you that and shows you that. See, I know the difference in all these things. That's why I'm embracing my platform, getting open more, so I can teach people that. I'm gonna say that one more time. A national disaster is created by mankind. A natural disaster is created by God. Big difference. Big difference. So, like you said, and that's why I appreciate you. That's why I say you earned that wrench, my brother, because you Frank, you got it. You're on point, man. You're on point. And I really need you as much as possible to be in the chat doing what you do. Because with your knowledge and you being a moderator, we're gonna be unstoppable in the way that Carl is operating. And I'm gonna give more people riches at the end of the day, but I'm just saying the way y'all operating, man, like we gonna be unstoppable to me when they go on messing around up there, space things happen. Well, see, what you got to understand is, see, and that's why I appreciate you and Frank. And this is going back to what Frank just said. See, the reason why they're doing that, Carl, is because they're trying to get away from the national disasters that they're causing. So they believe by going somewhere else, they're escaping the national disaster. But little do they know, God is still going to be with them, and He's going to cause a natural disaster. See, that's what they can't accept. That's what Frank is talking about. That's what he means by the more he's getting involved and in tune with the word, he's getting deep in depth with it. That's what he's talking about, Carla. So the more they run from the national disasters that they created, God is going to bring them right back to where they don't want to be with a natural disaster, something they can't stop, a hurricane, a tornado. They can't stop that. That's why God has people in place. What's it called when we get things with the climate? It's called what? Mother Nature. Because He created that. He like, you know what? I'm gonna give you a whiff of Mother Nature. I'm gonna let Mother Nature do some things for me and with me right quick. I'm gonna let her speak to y'all. Because when I speak, nobody want to listen. So Mother Nature talk to them for a little bit. And what Mother Nature do, she'll make certain people homeless. She'll wreck certain people businesses. She'll wreck the environment. She'll wreck the harvest, which is the vegetation, which is the food, which is the animals, because that's God speaking now. Like, all right, see, now it's mad cow disease, or is this going on with the chickens, or is this going on with that? I got more to say on the space thing, but I'll wait for the mind. Exactly, exactly, Frank. No, like, I'm with you 100%. But that's why I appreciate Frank, don't call it, because I already know the intelligence that this man has and the intelligence this man going to display. I'm just waiting for him to bring it up to be so I can talk about it at the end of the day. I already know. And that's why I appreciate him at the end of the day, because I know, that he has a lot of things that he want to cover at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And I appreciate him for that. But yeah, so that's the point of what Frank was talking about, though, Carla. It's a big difference, and some people, Carla, don't want to accept that national disasters and natural disasters are different. And that's why I tell people, excuse me, I like to do things natural instead of normally, because normally people gonna go to work, they're gonna work for their pension, and then they're just gonna die and pass away. When you do things natural, things happen for you differently. God has a different plan for people who do things organically, and people who do things naturally, and people who mutually see things the way that God has it set. We definitely gonna talk, my brother. Exactly what we are. Oh yeah, oh no, definitely. Like, we gonna do that. I ain't even worried about that, Frank. We definitely gonna do that. We all have different views, of course, but understand. No. And it's good that we all diverse in our own ways, Carla. I'm just saying I appreciate Frank for bringing that element, like, for me to even be able to talk about that real quick, about the natural and the national disasters, like at the end of the day, because I wasn't like certain things that Frank bring up. I want to talk about, but I'm happy he's giving me a segue to do it instead of me just getting into it. He's giving me a segue to speak about it and talk about it. So I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm definitely approaching the 2 hour mark. I appreciate you guys. It's 11:30 on all our times. So I'm gonna let you guys rest, and I appreciate it, and I definitely gonna try to come back Saturday. I know you work, Frank. So I'm definitely gonna go Sundays because I see you be having a lot more time, and I appreciate you, caller. And I rewarded you guys with the wrenches. So please keep up the questions. Please keep up the comments. Please keep up the humor. It's definitely needed. Bless your heart, caller. Bless your family, caller. Bless your heart, Frank. Bless your family. I appreciate you guys. It was a blessing for everything you did. This has been another live episode of Final Say. I'm your host, the Enlightened One, highly gifted Dr. Wright. I display righteousness and direct results. And I want to give a special thanks to my moderators now, what you call them, Frank. Again, it's been another episode of Final Say, a live episode. Whoever watches the playback, we appreciate it. We appreciate your time, effort, and energy. Everybody stay encouraged. Everybody stay blessed. May God watch and may God bless. Have a very safe, successful, stress-free week ahead to everybody throughout the nation and on the planet. God loves everybody and God knows your heart. Stay blessed, stay committed, and stay focused. Peace.